Hmm. Interesting. Waiting on Twitch here. Hmm. Yeah, okay. Daily game design time. So I haven't given any attention to ravens in a while. In fact, I got a text from a friend. I should probably text her back right now. She just said hi, and then this is Kristen, who I'm like we're co-designing this game. And she just said hi, Scott, and I just gave her like a shaka back. I was like waiting for a question or something like that, and then one never came, and then I'm gonna text her right now. So I think the last we tested and the last we tested was it looks like this can't be right. 7-7. I feel like that's too long ago, but it's possible. Anyway, this was the test with my new friend Zach, who oh, interesting. This is the first time on Twitch that I have seen like 0 viewers. Usually it seems like there's one kind of dummy viewer. But I also got some spam bot dropped into the chat. Very exciting. Okay, so Ravens is undergoing some dramatic changes. And in fact, this is the first time in a while that I will probably need to bring up Tabletop Simulator. So that'll take a second to load, I think, because Steam has to wake up. Okay. So a little more background here for Ravens. It is. It's a cooperative game for young people. At least that's the goal. See, I think actually I kind of feel like I need to reset my laptop because I don't know what this. I think this happened yesterday. Something got stuck somehow, and I don't know what this little like. What is that symbol? Like a knot symbol? It's just sitting there. Can't interact with it. It had something to do with. Oh. Anyway, it's like basically not there. So first I'm going to go into a game that was designed by, or a game that some of my friends were working on, and I was going to come in as like a developer for it. This was like pretty early on when I was just getting into game design. This is our digital prototype for Biome Borneo. So it's meant to be, I don't really know, kind of a set collection game. There was way too much going on, so we were trying to simplify it. It had to do with I don't know, there were like different systems, but one of the main things was like this hierarchy of animals. So once you collected one type of animal, you could collect, the animal above it. It was like food chain stuff. And then this is meant to represent the jungle and the different layers of the jungle. And I think this was tile laying. Somehow you were connecting pieces, and then something would happen because of that. Like you could draw something or get points, or if you set up the habitat a certain way or connected certain things. Anyway, so we were working on, actually I can jump back and forth, it's really easy. We were working on ravens. Here's ravens. It's this hex grid. And we're morphing it into a bag builder. So you're drawing tokens from a bag and moving around this map, picking up things, interacting with things. And Zach actually made some helpful observations about how my laptop is doing with all this. It's pretty hot. Hopefully not dying yet. The reason I have actually, let me see. Yeah, it does feel like it's struggling a little bit. Oh, 93% memory usage. So Vivaldi was a lightweight browser, and it's not behaving very lightly anymore. So I need to close some of this stuff down. I wonder if I can be streaming. There's no way I could be streaming to Twitch. And there's no way to do that with like a closed browser. I cannot imagine that's possible. Anyway, so let me just see how things are going. So Zach brought up some questions like, what would observation look like? Right, if there was some percentage of there was some percentage of tiles that were like flipped down. So anyway, this does shift into a game that could take some significant setup. Anyway, so here is you know what? I wonder if these can be. I wonder if any of this. I don't know. I'm just going to go back here, and I'm going to save a version of this. I'm going to save a version of this where I can just like start making significant changes that more so aligns it with something like ravens. So I'm gonna take a scalpel to this. Let's see, ravens 4. Should I just go for it? Should I just go ravens 5? It's gonna look completely different. Here it is, ravens 5. So one of the things that this that it was actually cool to like stumble back into this mod, this like build or whatever it is, this mod, and realize there are some really applicable contents here already. Give you an example. These terrain tiles, or these were like canopy levels, right? As we were brainstorming, we noticed that there could be like 3 different types of terrain, or that there were 3 different types of terrain with the Raven. Yeah, here they are: mountain tiles, field tiles, and town tiles. So what we have are these honeycomb shaped differently colored terrain tiles. I don't think I can. What? Can I change the color? Whoa! Okay. I didn't. I forgot about that. Okay. Anyway, so I guess there's no need. There's no need to have different heights. I want to figure this out. So I'm going to change the thickness. Okay, I'll change the thickness of these as well. If you haven't seen this, oops. If you haven't seen this software before, totally fine. It makes sense. This would have been huge during COVID, especially with everybody just being at home, but also wanting to do stuff together. This is a, oh, interesting. These are infinite. Did they? Oh, nice. They changed. They changed the size of even these infinite bags. So what I want to figure out here is what steps I need to take, first of all, so that this layout makes sense. Like that I can just drop tiles and they behave nicely. So an important little aspect of Tabletop Simulator is little snap points that allow you to, yeah, look at them. So the snap points are on the tiles themselves, but they're also on the table. So I'm thinking I can just erase all, let me just erase like all but 3. And like these are nicely situated, right? They're not perfect, but anyway, I'm just gonna take the snap points off of the table itself. I wonder if I placed these snap points. I don't remember. So I'm just gonna get rid of these for now. I don't want to get rid of the snap points. Oh, I guess I could have done it. I wonder if I deleted the snap points. Like there's still a couple there. Because there's a way to like delete all snap points. I wonder if that would delete those even in the infinite bags right here. Not sure. Okay, now I wanted to rearrange these because there was some weird stuff going on because, oh, let's change the view a little bit. There was some weird stuff going on because the heights were different on those previous tiles, or the previous versions of those tiles. So like this looks pretty good, right? Okay, the idea is we're building a completely modular map. And so you can imagine that we would, maybe this is, you know what, there's a game called The Quest for El Dorado, which I love. I played it recently and I realized how slight it is, how how very digestible it is. So it's still great for new players, but I felt there's really not much going on here. That's what, that was an interesting feeling because literally it was one of my favorites for a really, really long time. Like it was actually a lot of fun. And now what I realize, it's still fun. I've played it so much that there might not be a whole lot more to it. You know, that's part of it. But also, um, I think my tastes are changing a little bit to where I really do like heavier puzzles. So I've been really enjoying Lost Ruins of Arnak, which is not a heavy game, but it's definitely heavier than something like the Quest for El Dorado. Anyway, one of the things that makes El Dorado special to me is how you can really curate the experience, and the way to do that, the way I found to do that, like let's say you're teaching, you know, either you're playing people who are playing for the first you're with people who are playing for the first time, or they're playing for their 10th time or something like that. And in fact, I'm thinking into a time when I was playing at my friend's house. This was really early on in my fresh membership in the hobby, and I was playing at Daniel and Nikki's house, and it was with another friend of mine, Brandy, that really encouraged. I don't know what it was, but for some reason, that start, like being with those people, and meeting some people and hanging out around games. You know what I'm gonna try again is this little phone thing I did yesterday, which is to stick my phone where it'll get a little bit of the fan's breath over here. So I was playing with them, and I taught them the game. The Quest for El Dorado was one of the earliest purchases I made. That purchase of a modern hobby game. I think I watched a bunch of reviews. I forget what really motivated me to do that. And I do have to say too that it would have been then, in that case, it would have been one of the first steps away from party games that I made, as I was hosting games. We used to do this Tuesday night, and almost always they were group games, party games. And Quest for El Dorado would have been one of my early divergent moves. Saying, okay, I think I'm going to focus on other types of games here, or I'm getting interested in other types of games. What I'm doing right now is kind of approximating what might make sense as a map layout for this game. So there are already a lot of tiles involved here. I'm not convinced this is like a great idea. What's interesting here is, yeah, this is really, I'm not sure about the angles here. I feel like this is about the right size. If I change the tint to white. So they are fundamentally a color, I guess. Like even if I change this to white, what happens? Oh, they're all this kind of light green color somehow. I guess I shouldn't have done that. So what's odd about this layout here is the angle. You can see that the tiles are all oriented a certain way. What if is this possible? Interesting. Because this would look awkward on the table, right? That's shifting everything by 90 degrees. What happens if I change by 15? That's not good. So anyway, I was with Daniel, Nikki, and Brandy. I pulled out Quest for El Dorado, and we played probably 3 times or 4 times in a row. And it was my first time to see a game, or it was my first time to experience how a modern game like this could, that's still not great. These are all not gonna work, right? Huh. It was kind of my first time to see a game like this hold up in that kind of situation. And what it really did for us was like push us to reimagine how we might lay out the board. So just like what this is beginning to look like, Quest for El Dorado has a bunch of hex tiles that come in the box. Tiles of hexes. Like, I don't remember how many are in each one. Maybe there might be like, how many are in each of these? 7. So it might be like 3 or 4 of these. And you can lay out the tiles however you want. Not only can the layout of the map be different, but you can flip the tiles so you have twice the terrain to work with and to be really creative with. And so it turns out that playing Quest for El Dorado involves some game design. And that was just a really cool thing. And the reason it does involve game design is that with all these terrains, like the people that who is it? Is it Knizia, I think? As somehow people in the hobby seem almost obligated, what is the term I'm trying to think
It looks
of?
like your Wi-Fi name or password has changed. To update your
Sorry.
Wi-Fi information, go to the Alexa app.
I use this as just a speaker now, and the character inside doesn't really like that. She wishes she was connected to the outside world, but she's not. She protests, but this is the situation. Anyway, the good doctor, Reiner Knizia. So they laid out that he laid out these tiles that create certain experiences, types of experiences that'll make you focus on upgrading your deck in different ways, or managing your little deck in different ways. So it was cool to like think about, how do I want to arrange these tiles to produce a certain type of experience, which is exactly what game design is all about. How can I produce a particular type of experience for the audience I have in mind? So anyway, there's some inspiration there with what's going on here now. I don't know what to do with this weird shape. This would not sit well on the table. And I don't think I can actually, I'm pretty sure I cannot. Let me try to rotate one by itself. Wait, that worked. Didn't it? What if that did work. Wait a second. Why does this not work? Wait, it does work. 30 degrees. That's what I needed. That's what I needed, was 30-degree rotation, apparently. Because I think now this shape would be a little more pleasing to the eyes on the table. Right? Is this right? Or this orientation, maybe. You know what? I also don't need to stress about this part. Like, the map could look like this. It could look like, it could look like this. It could have really any configuration imaginable. And I think leaving it, having some like proposed maps is the right move, which is also the case in Quest for El Dorado. But do you all hear the rooster? That guy was active again at 4:30 this morning. He's just loving life over there. I think I mentioned before, somebody was probably shooting at it, and then it looks like it's actually the the object of ownership of one of my, family that lives not too far away. Why in the world can't I think of like that really basic word? It is the it is the um what in the world? What word am I trying to think of? It's the when you own something, it's the possession of. why? Why did that take me a long time to think of? It's the possession of a family that lives right over there. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna just snap these down. I think I prefer this orientation. I'm just gonna add a few more here. Mostly what I wanted to do was just make sure that these all fit nicely together, that they're not overlapping. Like that looks like it was kind of overlapping there. So they should be tight, so the seams should be pretty narrow. And I wanted everything to look uniform. I think some of the snap points were slightly off before. What do I'm making a mess here with these tiles. I'm pretty sure we don't need any of these tiles. But I wonder how I could recycle them. That's one of the cool things. Actually, there's this guy, Dave, who I love. He's a funny guy, very cool guy. He was coming to our game design meetups throughout the summer, and he came last summer, I think even the summer before. Dave, very cool guy. But he brings components. I feel like I've mentioned this. He brought components upon components in boxes and old games and good games, but unused games. Like he brought all that stuff and delivered it to me because he knows I enjoy game design. And we even used some of the stuff from the bags he brought. I'm just gonna do a few more here. Like this. Oops. Yikes. Anyway, it's really fun to figure out how you can reuse, like recycle stuff, recycle components. Like I never expected to be able to use this map for ravens. And yet, here we find ourselves. So that's great. Oh, where was that snap point? Right here. Okay. Is that gonna fit? No. I guess I can move these. Yeah, what is up with roosters? Like, how do they work? I don't really get what they're all about. I mean, they're passionate about what they do. I think that's cool. Should I just delete all this text? Yeah. All 3D text objects. Bye. So I understand they're really motivated to do whatever it is they're doing. But what are they doing? Like, what does this accomplish in their society? That's what I want to know. Is it a mating thing? Because, is that it? Is it a way to structure the day? Do they feel like they need to keep people organized? I mean, keep their chickens, their ladies organized? Is that what's going on? Okay. This is interesting. I can't tell if somebody was just chasing it just now. I think after this I'm going to be done. Right? Oops, it's kind of sucked a bunch of things together there. Okay, now I'm going to unlock all this stuff, move these out of here. These are not relevant anymore except that they contain some tiles. But I am just going to make some space for myself. I wonder if I could drop them all into a bag. I probably could. I don't know. Okay, let me just clean this up. I'd like to center everything before I create the snap points. Is this worth it? The time I'm taking to lay these out in this way? I'm not positive it is. But I'm hopeful that it is. Right? Because it's nice to work with a nice looking surface. Like, do I need... You know what, these also don't have to be this size, I just realized. Nope. That was a mistake. Dang. Is that back? Okay. Yeah, because I don't think there's a fast way to fix the resizing issue that I would create, or the gaps because of resizing. But I kind of wish that I had resized before I did this. Right? Because I think we want more movement than this is the point. You know what? I'm just hanging out. I'm gonna bite whatever bullet is part of the situation and just change the size. Let's try that. Okay, now what? Now let's pick a spot in the middle-ish. Was this a good use of time? We'll see. Okay, let me give myself a rough layout. I'll come back in and fix it later. I wonder, what's your breakfast routine? Mine is kind of settled in, honestly. If I have time, it doesn't take much time, but if I do have time, my go-to for the last, I don't know, maybe year or two is like an avocado toast bagel. Is it weird? It might be weird to call it an avocado toast bagel. Should I call it an avocado bagel? Maybe. Like, I just think this is a weird shape, right? Like, it's just a weird shape. And I cannot imagine, like, what's going on with that shape. There's some mathy person that could explain to me the best way to organize these things. Like, what's the most symmetrical? Oops. I think the most symmetrical would be, because it looks like I can do 4 over here, 4 this way. But see, it's this angle now, right? That I'm at 15. It was a 30% shift. Let me go back to 15. Yeah. Why? Because these don't fit together. It is an odd shape that, I could maybe make sort of square-like. Here, you know what? I'm just gonna delete these. This is the kind of thing, like, yeah, this takes time, right? It does, but do I need to be spending time on it? I'm, for some reason, doing it, so. I just want a shape that looks, you know, kind of symmetrical. I would like things to look tidy. My reason for this is that I think people will want the tiles to look a certain way on the table. Like I wouldn't want to make some oddly angled conglomeration here. I think maybe it's just me, but like if things yeah, I could not allow myself to design it in such a way that all these tiles are like a super weird angle on the table, like that the group of them has to be angled a certain way. Okay, now what do I get? I think I can do one more over here, right? This is all going to be worth it. Okay, now with this sitting appropriately, what I'm hoping to be able to do, oops, is do this. I wonder why. Okay. Okay, let's try to move in here. Oops. What have I done? What's going on? This is another thing I didn't really consider. Like, what if there are gaps? Wait a minute. Do I have to... What? I was thinking I might have to offset it, which is totally fine. But what is happening? Okay, so that's not working. I'll come back to you guys. This is, you know, this is all about. This is all about creating snap points that don't really matter. Like, this is one of those things that, like, this is just burning time. There's nothing super productive about what I'm doing. It's just eating up time to do this. Okay, now we're back to this looking like a weird shape. Because I don't know what was making that gap, right? Okay, because I don't like that. Like, I don't like that it's on this slope, but I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Right? Is there any way I can make it go back up? I don't think so, right? There's some PhD in geometry watching me do this and saying, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, what's an, oh. It's interesting because I can't really get good symmetry from these shapes being locked together. So maybe this is not the tile I want. Don't tell me that. Oh man. What other hex-based You know what I just realized? I think I'm gonna look up, what is that game called? Cryptid. Cryptid game. I need to look at the tiles in this game. Here they are. So it's 3. This is so funny. Like, why? So I can just make 3 by 4 across the top and 3 along the side. I think that's what I need to be doing. Canva to the rescue. I don't know why it took me so long to realize this. But these shapes are great for more of a fluid shape. More of a, let me say, sort of natural shape. And that's not what I want. That's just not how this is gonna work. So so I just need, do I have any hex based stuff right now? No, I'm just gonna create a new. I am really pushing my laptop. I'm gonna close this for now. I'll come back. But just to give my laptop a little bit of a mental break. Gonna close it there. Yeah, like, what's going on? Don't you dare. The stream looks healthy. Twitch does not look healthy. What about you, YouTube? Everything looks like it's still going. No dropped frames. Okay, I think it's kind of catching up. But yeah, I'm just gonna kill Tabletop Simulator for now. I don't like what I'm seeing with Twitch. Hopefully that gives you a break, little buddy. Oh yeah. That is working hard. Sorry if you hear that extra fan noise, but something's got to give here. Something's got to change. All right. So Canva. I also think I wonder why. I had the other camera was going on my lap. Like my laptop camera was going, not my whatever this is, not my other camera. But that was going, and I wonder if I just saved some resources by changing that. I think Vivaldi is way heavier as a user than I was hoping. I'm at 84% memory now, which is healthier. I can close Steam for now. It's crazy, like I don't want to get like a desktop, you know. But eventually, if I keep doing this and I need more resources, I need more power, then what else could I do? I can close this for now. close this for now. Okay. Okay, well, I've only got about 15 minutes left. I'm gonna I'm just gonna work on this. It doesn't need to be anything special. Actually, I don't want that. I do want, like, just this orientation will be a little better. What? Wait. Why did I do that? Why did it call it something else with the same dimensions? That's not what I wanted. Move this to the trash now. I want landscape. Print. Flyer, portrait, worksheet, portrait, flyer, landscape. Okay. So now I'm here to make a hex grid. And I think I actually probably need to build this myself just because okay, I for some reason I feel like Canva doesn't process hexes super well, but this is looking pretty good. Right. So that's great that it gives me that these like guides. Okay, the goal was 4 across, so we're almost there. 4 across and 3 down. That just means 1 more here and 1 more here. Okay, we'll group these, group them and centralize them. So that's it. That's what I want, except that I want all of these. Maybe we'll just ungroup for now. I want all of these to have an outline on them. Probably 2, we'll try that. And then I don't like that these have this little extra thickness, but is that something I just need to deal with? Like, just accept that that is going to be the case. Maybe. Like, why are you there? Oh, maybe it does. Okay. So maybe I'll gather everything this way. Wait. It's been slightly rainy these last 2 days. It seems like it's been a while since we really had some rain. It's happening right now. I wish my plant could just drink from the hose of the sky, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So like in that case, which one of these needs to move? Probably, it doesn't feel like it's that one. Don't like that. So I want those to just perfectly overlap. Or wait, what if they meet like this? I'm not sure that this is gonna work out like that. So that I have that extra thick border. Maybe that's fine. I don't think there's a way to really control this, like on this fine of a level, right? Like if I go one more. Essentially one more pixel. Oops. And then try this one. What do I get if I... Maybe that's the move. Maybe that is the move. Is it though? So these should definitely be centered, right? They are centered. These should be with each other middle to middle. And maybe these four are set up nicely. Okay, so now if I do everything relative to them, like that, things should start snapping together a little better, right? Looks like they are. Yeah, they're behaving pretty well. Okay, this might be the best of the best here. This might be perfectly amenable, workable. Okay, that does not look super cute, but the other thing is this is not going to look, it's not going to look organic in any way. Is there anything else I would want to do here? This is the tedium. This is the tedious part of design, I think. It's like kind of making some of these decisions. Like, or just doing this kind of grunt work. I don't mind it at all. I actually like feel good about the kind of progress I'm making right now. I also feel good that we haven't really, it doesn't seem like we've dropped any frames this whole stream. So that's exciting. Okay, let me try something else. Just really quick. Because what does this look like if, like, what other shape is available to us that would maybe work out? I think the honeycomb is maybe not perfect as an object. Wait, why didn't that? Okay. Right, this is like the other scale of honeycomb that we could work with. But I kind of am, I'm not sure that this is the best. What about a shape like this? Nope, it's gonna leave these holes in here. Okay. one of the reasons I wanted to do it like this is that you know what I could do? You know what I could do actually? I'm not hating this idea all of a sudden. Let me copy this. Because what I could actually do is something like this, where, and this is very much in the vein of cryptids, where maybe we just build the terrain like right on these tiles, and make like 3 or 4 tiles, right? And the problem will be, what are 3 triangles together? 1, 2, 3. What does this look like? Hang on. Oops. If we assemble triangles in this way, what happens? So let's make this yellow for the plains, or orangish. Okay, and then so maybe not triangles, but actually, wait a minute. What shape am I making here? So what color could this be? This could be the forest, right? So make it a nice green. Now this is probably going to look too regular, right? Like it's kind of weird if I make a pie. Does that seem true? I feel like it might be weird, but I'm gonna try it. So now here again, let's do gray. Huh. Or if I make these gray, what if I make these gray? So this is like a big chunk of mountains, right? And this is a big chunk of forest, like this. These shapes, this shape is actually interesting, this one right here. But what do I need to make that? So I'm essentially working towards something that is like repeatable. The big question is, what is going on here in the middle of this tile? It's funny that it feels like that's a big question. It's probably not at all. But I am curious what to make of that. I like that it's giving me this danger zone message. So this is a print situation, that's why it's doing that. Okay, getting closer. I guess I can take 4 of these now. Okay, and now I have my planes right here. So what is going on there in the middle? Yeah, not too sure. Twitch, how are you doing? Because you don't look like you're updating very nicely. The time is still ticking up. I'm not sure what's going on there. Facebook looks pretty far behind. Unless it's just not updating. I don't mind this. Just what would this look like? So I'm going to drop this down to 1. And then shrink everything. Okay, and then group everything. And now now we're dealing with this weird offset alignment thing again. Right? I don't know, maybe if I come up over here though, that's fine. Right? I think I want okay, and then let's say 4 of these. This looks like it's way too big now. But we are back to a generally, potentially, wait, maybe not, wait a second. Yeah, we got a problem. You know, it could be that I'm just not used to working with hexes, so a bunch of this stuff would be obvious to somebody who is working regularly with them. But like this kind of thing, I feel like would drive me crazy. You know, like this is crazy. Yeah, I think I might be back to this one. And the reason I didn't like this one, I'll be honest, is that I feel like this would be kind of hard for people to understand how to. What if I do this? For people to understand where to put tiles that are seated tiles, meaning like would they be on these edges and we just have to say it like that? Should I add maybe another row down here? Huh. This I don't mind. This I don't mind. What does it look like though? Drop this down to 1 as well. Shrink it. So if like how would I change the color? I guess the question is, do I like smaller groupings? Let me try it first with this size. So change this down to 1 as well. Shrink it. Now, let's see how I group it. If I change everything to, let's make this one gray. and then make this one yellow and green. Right, I can arrange these however makes sense to me. I feel like this is the smallest. This is the smallest possible configuration without getting annoying to set up, I think. But I don't know if I like that they're all one color. So for instance, these maybe are gray. Or maybe there's some mountains running through here. Right? Maybe not like that. But maybe the mountains come up to here. The forests are over here, and this is the right, and then maybe there's another one that's pretty much, oh, let's do the forest this way. Let's make these green, and then let's make these yellow. Right? Forest maybe should be the not so common one. Right? And so it could be kind of like this. I would think it should be mostly like that's interesting, right? I think it should be mostly plains with some of these other features kind of mixed in, and then however you arrange them, right? Let me make another one, and then this should be all yellow. What happens if I like go like this? And make these, maybe like that. Make this mountains. Right? Like this could be cool. If there were like, let's say 6 of these tiles. No, maybe it needs to be 9. I think it needs to be 9. So that it could be like almost in a square, right? Mostly plains, but not all. And then like just some different, like this being trees, right? Like that's kind of cool. There could be one that's pretty much all yellow. But again, like how do you seed this? How? Let me make another one of these. It's like I like the idea of that being something that would like cut off. Maybe that one is yellow, this one is green. It's like a little mountain pass right there. It's like this stuff is cool. Just like, just kind of riffing here, you know. There's no center tile on these. Maybe that's fine. There are a couple with just mountains. I guess this and this. It's kind of cool. So trees, the idea right now is the trees are not that important unless the raven is carrying something. Like this might be too much mountain happening. Oops. So if we were to go, let's just group these. Okay, and then do some rearranging. Okay, set these up. Like, see, like this is really forced, right? Like movement through there is gonna be hard. And what if this is the case? I think everything should be kind of lined up. Oh, duh. Okay, wait a second. So I can't have this edge like this. Right, the same is true about you guys. Let me line these up. Okay, ungroup. Cut this off. And ungroup. Cut this off. Right? So now the stagger is correct. Right? And what we have is a map with variable terrain, but I think it's actually pretty hard to navigate. It's also, let me group these first. Where is the divide here? 1, 2, 3. Is it 4 down? Like that? I think it is. Three and 3. See, the reason I didn't like this is that this could be like kind of tedious to set up if the pieces are this small, right? I think that's why I wanted it to be like 4. 4 and 4. So this works. If that works, that's how this was meant to be. Right. Group, ungroup. So the point of doing all this is to have a decent terrain to work with, and I feel like I'm not quite there, even after an hour of work. Like what's up with these? Like, is anybody? Should these all be rotated? I feel like maybe that would be. Oops. Maybe that's the right thing. Get these together. I like the idea of a 3x3. That kind of makes sense to me. But if I rotate all these, yeah, that's just better, right? Well, I mean, having this many tiles. Right. Like, this looks pretty fine, right? And I still think it may be a little too busy. Like, there might be just too much going on here. So I'm gonna at least make some of these smaller. This is better, right? Hmm. So it's kind of like, well, wait a minute. We talked about these different terrains. Maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. We talked about these terrains as, I don't know if I want to bring it back. Interesting. Yeah, we talked about these as wanting to. Let me just open this up again. Where is it, Ravens? Oh, I just saw it. As potentially being tied to what you could find in these places. So, what would you be more likely to find in the town tiles? What is a town tile? I guess we should also include some town stuff. So towns could always be I think I'm just gonna make them maybe, what's a good contrasty color for now? Pink. The town tile is pink, and maybe the towns are kind of spread out. Okay, so they're only on three different hexes, which might be fine. 3 out of 9. Okay, what else are we thinking here? So I like this. This did turn out to be basically the size of, I think those are the size of the cryptid tiles. I think they're the same. So that's good. I kind of still feel like these mountain tiles are a little too big. Anyway, I need to sort out the design goals. I think that's the main thing, because like these could really go anywhere. Actually, let me do it. Let me do this one more time. So I'm going to screenshot this arrangement. Okay. And then post it just as one example. I guess I could just duplicate this. What am I doing? Okay, so I want to rotate. I'm going to rotate like maybe about half of these. Okay, because this is a feature of this system. And then I'm going to scramble everything, right? Just kind of move a bunch of stuff around here. Okay, and then line everything up and just see what I get. Because I think what I don't want is a map that is too restrictive. Well, I'm also making some assumptions about movement right now that might not hold, that might not apply anymore. Why is this like this? Right, like where, ooh, what is going on, you guys? These need to all be aligned. These need to be aligned. Okay. Let's align these. Now I'll go this way and align these. Okay, cool. Right. Okay. I guess I don't know what I should have done. Anyway, I think I'm okay. Okay, let's try that. So here's another arrangement. It's like, is that cool? I feel like that's cool. Yeah. Okay, I'm at like an hour and a half. I think it's time to wrap up, but I feel like there is some progress here. I'm gonna screenshot this as well. And drop this into our Ravens Discord channel. Maybe I should separate them just to show like what the pieces are. Right? Looks good. Yeah, cool. Well, thanks for joining me today. I feel like even though I wandered around, I think that's an essential feature of game design. You just kind of never know what you'll get. It's one reason why I love it. I love the adventure of what I'm doing. For me, it's like just super fun to experiment and just see what happens. I wish this little thing was gone. I guess I can get it like this. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna drop these in here. Ravens, I'm gonna add that first one first, and then I think I'm gonna head out. We'll just do this one first, and then add a couple. These other two that what I like about this 9x9 situation, 3x3 situation, experimenting with terrain tiles. It's funny how we got here. Like I said, I love the wandering part of this. The reason I even went back to Canva was nice. Holy Sapient. This one is so the working title is Ravens, and what we're doing is trying to make a cooperative game about delivering food to Elijah. So it is a Bible inspired game. This is for like a Christian youth organization. So I'm working on different terrain types that these ravens are going to be flying around. That's the concept. So yeah, thanks for jumping in. So I stream for an hour every day, and it could be in the mornings. Usually it's pretty early in the morning for me. I'm Hawaii time. And then anyway, it's happened a little bit in the past where I'll also maybe have to do it a little later in the day. But yeah, this is Ravens. We've been working on it for several months now, and it's changed a lot as we've made certain important commitments around simplicity and definitely like cooperation. Like we're really pushing ourselves to try to think of ways to encourage cooperation, not just hey, I'm over here working in this part of the map, you're over there working on that part of the map, but actual like building in different ways that people have to interact and help each other. So anyway, this was the latest experiment in producing the play area. I think I showed anyway on the stream a little while ago. I showed how this is really developed in a very different way than it was going in terms of the map. The map was a lot smaller. This it's going to allow for more movement with the ravens, for more different abilities. That's another thing that we wanted to do, is have a really simple system where the ravens, I don't know that we're going to upgrade them, but the players could choose from different, like ravens with different strengths and weaknesses. So we had a hard time thinking of a great way to build in some asymmetry in the ravens. Movement is an important one, so having a bigger map allows us to do that. Anyway, I think that's it for me. Wow, this is about an hour and a half. Again, thanks for joining, and I'll see you soon.